Hi, and welcome to another episode. Please be sure to visit nffleeced.com, home of the Give and Goat Report, and learn how the NFL's top quarterback is that league's greatest work of fiction. Remember, as we've talked about, nearly all major professional sports organizations are geared toward mass entertainment, not real athletic contests. In the example of the NFL, it is not a league comprised of 32 separate clubs that fight with each other yearly for one trophy. Rather, the NFL is one corporate entity that is divided into 32 departments or teams. As such, this show business conglomerate can full well do as it pleases in regard to structuring the outcomes of their presented games. They alone can and have the right to predetermine champs, chumps, perennial winners, and continual losers, complete with fresh-baked storylines to appease their loyal fanatics, all while a subliminal narrative is skillfully woven. Such may be the case surrounding the remarkable professional career of retired, then unretired, megastar quarterback Tom Brady. In this episode, we'll explore how the NFL has designed their annual championship event to include a secondary game of King of the Hill, as the new Super Bowl champ, in essence, dethrones the previous year's winner. What I'm about to share is factually based in accordance with verifiable evidence, strong symbolic patterns, and storylines provided by the NFL and their partners. In this diversion of scores, stats, and rank, perception reigns supreme. Let's begin. Because of its apparent but unconfessed total influence over their games, the NFL can throw stones, then hide their hands, so to speak. This is often done by subliminally injecting racial narratives into their created football presentations that, if discovered, can easily be dismissed, then spun to place blame on the researcher. It's like if a popular restaurant served what they considered to be their best meal, then labeled some patrons crazy or haters for pointing out that the dishes used to serve the public were actually filthy. Thus, with their effective spin machine and code of control firmly established, all other associated details of these games act as pillars of reinforcement for the result that will be. But some details are more divisive and unsavory than others. The NFL subsidiary game of Dethrones is a simple one. The newly crowned Super Bowl champion rules directly over the champion of the prior year, even if those two teams never played head-to-head for the title. Since this game within a game is symbolic in nature, a ruler's status extends beyond just football and also includes dominance in the areas of team location, team mascot, and even uniform colors. Here we will focus on the consensus two best quarterbacks in NFL history, Tom Brady and Joe Montana. Montana's legendary role was designed to be the greatest of his time, but was only propped up to fortify the eventual role of Brady as the unquestioned greatest of all time, or GOAT, once Brady surpassed Joe's previous set Super Bowl milestones. At the recording of this episode, these two players have combined for 14 Super Bowl appearances and 11 Super Bowl wins, with Joe Montana winning 4 NFL championships and Tom Brady winning a total of 7 Super Bowls so far. What we are going to look at are the teams that each dethroned in all of their championship years. We'll start with Joe's 4 victorious dethronings, then we'll compare them to Brady's 7 successful dethroning efforts. See if you too can spot some of the similarities. In Super Bowl 16, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Montana won his first NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the Oakland Raiders, who won Super Bowl 15. In Super Bowl 19, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Miami Dolphins. Joe Montana won his second NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the LA Raiders, who won Super Bowl 18. In Super Bowl 23, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Montana won his third NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the Washington Redskins, who won Super Bowl 22. They were named the Redskins at the time. In Super Bowl 24, the San Francisco 49ers defeated the Denver Broncos. Joe Montana won his 4th NFL title, and the previous NFL champion that remained dethroned was the Washington Redskins, who won Super Bowl 22. So Joe Montana's 49ers dethroned the Oakland Raiders, the LA Raiders, the Washington Redskins, and the Washington Redskins again since the 49ers repeat as Super Bowl champions. Looking at it from the NFL's racially subliminal lens, we see that Montana overcame the Black Raiders twice and then the Redskins twice. It is also interesting to note that while Montana's 49ers dethroned 4 teams, they only dethroned 2 different starting quarterbacks. Jim Plunkett of the Raiders, who won Super Bowl 15 and Super Bowl 18, and Doug Williams of the Redskins, who won Super Bowl 22. Quarterback Jim Plunkett was the first man of Native American Hispanic descent to quarterback a Super Bowl winning team, and quarterback Doug Williams was the first African American starting quarterback to win the Super Bowl. Thus, Joe Montana dethroned 2 quarterbacks of color from racially derogatory teams on his way to becoming the GOAT of his time. Now let's look at Tom Brady's 7 NFL dethrone wins. In Super Bowl 36, the New England Patriots defeated the St. Louis Rams. Tom Brady won his first NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the Baltimore Ravens, who won Super Bowl 35. In Super Bowl 38, the New England Patriots defeated the Carolina Panthers. Tom Brady won his second NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who won Super Bowl 37 over the Oakland Raiders. In Super Bowl 39, the New England Patriots defeated the Philadelphia Eagles. Tom Brady won his third NFL title, and the previous NFL champion that remained dethroned was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who won Super Bowl 37 over the Oakland Raiders. In Super Bowl 49, the New England Patriots defeated the Seattle Seahawks. Tom Brady won his fourth NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the Seattle Seahawks, who won Super Bowl 48 and were attempting to repeat as champs. In Super Bowl 51, the New England Patriots defeated the Atlanta Falcons. Tom Brady won his fifth NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the Denver Broncos, who won Super Bowl 50 over the Carolina Panthers. In Super Bowl 53, the New England Patriots defeated the Los Angeles Rams. Tom Brady won his sixth NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the Philadelphia Eagles, who won Super Bowl 52 over the New England Patriots, who were attempting to repeat as champs. In Super Bowl 55, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Kansas City Chiefs. Tom Brady won his seventh NFL title, and the previous NFL champion he dethroned was the Kansas City Chiefs, who won Super Bowl 54 over the San Francisco 49ers and were attempting to repeat as champs. So Tom Brady not only had more dethrones than the previous GOAT Montana, but Brady's 7 dethrone efforts were also more diverse in the sense that they covered more symbolic ground than Joe's did, while still being just as compelling. In the side game of Super Bowl King of the Hill, Brady conquered 6 different teams, including 4 first-time Super Bowl champions, the Ravens, the Buccaneers, the Seahawks, and the Eagles. He dethroned his future team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he defeated 2 defending champions in the Super Bowl game itself, the Seattle Seahawks and the Kansas City Chiefs. And when looking at things from the NFL's ugly subliminal racial lens, we see that Brady dethroned the Black Deathbird Ravens from a black city in Maryland. Brady dethroned his future team Bucks, who defeated the Black Raiders to win their Super Bowl title. Brady dethroned the Broncos, who defeated the Black Panthers to win their Super Bowl title. Brady got payback by dethroning the Eagles the year after they defeated his Patriots for the NFL crown. And finally, Tom Brady dethroned 2 black starting quarterbacks as their teams attempted to repeat as Super Bowl champs. That would be Russell Wilson of the Seahawks and Pat Mahomes of the Chiefs. Thus, Brady won the Super Bowl against them head-to-head while simultaneously dethroning each of their teams. When the NFL writers make you the GOAT, they make you the GOAT. Wow. In fact, combined, Joe Montana and Tom Brady have dethroned every winning quarterback of color in Super Bowl history. That would include Jim Plunkett, Doug Williams, Russell Wilson, and Pat Mahomes. They have all been dethroned by either Joe Montana or Tom Brady. Amazing, but in accordance with their scripted roles as successive GOATs. And when we look at the teams that have dethroned these two super quarterback legends, we see two creatively constructed stories that exemplifies a majestic career and a hero's superiority. Tom Brady's Super Bowl winning teams were dethroned by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who won Super Bowl 37, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who won Super Bowl 40, the Denver Broncos, who won Super Bowl 50, the Philadelphia Eagles, who won Super Bowl 52, the Kansas City Chiefs, who won Super Bowl 54, and the LA Rams, who won Super Bowl 56. So we see here that Tom Brady was dethroned by his future team, the Bucs, the first team he defeated for the AFC title, the Steelers, the last team he lost to for the AFC title, the Broncos, the last team he lost to in the Super Bowl, the Eagles, and the last team he defeated in the Super Bowl as an NFC representative, the Chiefs, and the last team he defeated in the Super Bowl as an AFC representative when he defeated the Rams. And the Rams as a franchise also represent the first team Brady won against in the Super Bowl. That's powerful. So even in his dethronings, the character of Brady is exalted. Montana's dethronings weren't as theatric as Brady's, but I like the come-from-behind nature that was embedded to ensure that Joe was recognized as the best of his time. Joe Montana and his San Francisco 49ers were dethroned by the Washington Redskins, who won Super Bowl 17, the Chicago Bears, who won Super Bowl 20, and the New York Giants, who won Super Bowl 25. During this time period, these same three teams won successive NFL titles. The Bears won Super Bowl 20, the Giants won Super Bowl 21, and the Redskins won Super Bowl 22. And as if to come from behind to dethrone all of them simultaneously, Montana and the 49ers won back-to-back Super Bowls in Super Bowl 23 and Super Bowl 24 to close out the 1980s. I like that sequence. But make no mistake, while a generation of fans preferred when Montana was the GOAT, the NFL always intended for Brady to eventually rise to the very top. Not only does Tom have 6 more Super Bowl appearances than Montana and 3 more Super Bowl wins, Brady also dethroned both of Montana's teams kind of at the same time when in Super Bowl 55, Brady and his Bucs defeated the defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs, who defeated the San Francisco 49ers the year before in Super Bowl 54. So in one dethrone of basically 2 teams, Tom Brady proved his granted supremacy over the NFL's previous GOAT, Joe Montana. And while his triple takedown payback dethrone is impressive, Montana can make no such similar claim of dethroning any of Brady's teams. An NFL Super Bowl dethrone honorable mention must go to 2-time Raider Super Bowl champ Jim Plunkett. Plunkett won the 1970 Heisman Trophy at Stanford University while their mascot was still named the Indians. Plunkett was the #1 draft pick of the New England Patriots in 1971, and after 5 seasons there, he played for the San Francisco 49ers for 2 years before joining the Raiders in 1979. That's right, Jim Plunkett, who wore Montana's number 16, played for both Tom Brady's Patriots and Montana's 49ers before he won Super Bowls 15 and 18 with the Raiders. And to his subliminal credit, Plunkett dethroned both the Black Steelers, who won Super Bowl 14, and the Redskins, who won Super Bowl 17 and were attempting to repeat as champs. Very artistic control coordination by the NFL. Remember, there are 32 NFL teams and untold thousands of possible championship scenarios that could play out year in and year out. What are the odds that these things continually fall into place this perfectly with such a narrative? In a truly random environment, these happenings will be completely improbable and nearly impossible, yet they occur with regularity and are passed off to the public as real. Unbelievable. Also note that unfortunately, or by design, quarterback of color Plunkett is the only two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback that is eligible for the Hall of Fame yet has not been inducted. And just before we think that teams, cities, and quarterbacks of color get beaten up too much in this secondary game of Dethrones, it looks like the NFL spreads the pain a little bit in that regard. New York football teams are a combined 5-1 in the Super Bowl game, with the Jets winning 1 game and no losses, and the Giants winning 4 games and having 1 loss. But following all of their Super Bowl wins, the New York teams were dethroned by a racially coded NFL team. The Super Bowl III champion New York Jets were dethroned by the Super Bowl IV champion Indian Chiefs. The Super Bowl XXI champ New York Giants were dethroned by the Super Bowl XXII champ Indian Redskins. The Super Bowl XXV champ New York Giants were again dethroned by the Super Bowl XXVI champ Indian Redskins. The Super Bowl 42 champ New York Giants were dethroned by the Super Bowl 43 champ Black Steelers, coached by Black head coach Mike Tomlin. And the Super Bowl 46 champ New York Giants were dethroned by the Super Bowl 47 champ Black Deathbird Ravens from the Black city of Baltimore, Maryland. Furthermore, the New York City's only loss in the Super Bowl came at the hands of these very same Baltimore Ravens in Super Bowl 35 as they beat the Giants. Perhaps that game was payback for the Jets beating the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III. While Tom Brady was 1-1 versus the New York Jets in the playoffs, both Montana and Brady have losing playoff records versus the New York Giants, with only 2 combined wins and 5 straight losses. For all their fanfare and acclaim, both these GOATs were feckless against New York teams in the playoffs, especially against the Giants, thereby sprinkling a dash of humility into their fantasy football. Joe Montana had a postseason record of 2 wins and 3 losses versus the Giants, losing his last 3 straight against them. And Tom Brady is winless against the Giants in the postseason with a record of 0 wins and 2 losses, both of those losses coming in the Super Bowl game. Ironically, or according to script, the New York Giants' last playoff win over both Montana as a 49er and Brady as a Patriot were in championship games that led to the Giants becoming NFL champions for those respective years. The Giants defeated Montana and the defending back-to-back champion 49ers in the 1991 NFC Championship game, and the Giants went on to win Super Bowl XXV, thereby totally dethroning San Francisco. And the Giants defeated Brady and the heavily favored Patriots in their last playoff meeting to win Super Bowl 46. So through these proven numeric patterns, structured coincidences, and probably much more when you search further, we can clearly see that this secondary game of Super Bowl champ King of the Hill has also been crafted over decades to reinforce the league's proposed narratives, all designed to further elevate the man who is the most extraordinary work of fiction that spectators of the NFL have ever seen. I hope you've enjoyed this NF Lease presentation. Stay tuned for more episodes, and thank you so much for your time. Take care.